Before I get into the subject matter at hand, if you want to show love to this channel, if you want to show your support for Two Raw for TV, I'll put a link in the description box where you can donate to this channel. Now, having said all of that, look, if you're a Giannis hater or a Buck detractor, you're going to have a field day today. All right? You're going to have a field day in this comment section. I know. I told you so. Look, man. I told you. There's going to be a whole bunch of I told you so's. All right? A whole bunch of that. The series isn't technically over, but I think the winner of Game 5 and best of 7 series, I think they win like 75% of the time or something like that. So statistically, man, it's the odds are against the Bucks coming back and winning this series. But I mean, it can happen. I just don't see it because it seemed like Toronto has figured out how to contain Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it almost seems like when Giannis isn't, it's almost like with the Bucks, Giannis is their leader, like obviously, but it's like when Giannis isn't going, or if Giannis isn't physically, or yeah, if he's physically showing signs that he's unsure of himself out there, or doesn't look confident, it affects the other players out there. It's like, with the exception of George Hill, it's like nobody else out there seems to be able to handle certain situations out there. You know what I mean? And the Bucks are just not looking like the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Like they haven't looked like themselves really the entire series. But especially since from Game 3 on, they haven't looked like themselves, man. And the Raptors, you gotta give them credit. They figured out how to contain Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're putting up their wall against him, and Giannis is being a little bit exposed. His deficiencies are being amplified. His lack of coordination, um, his reliance on bullying his way to the basket. They're stripping him. Kawhi's been guarding him more and more throughout the series, and he's having to work really hard, much harder to get his points. All right. I think he had 24 points. Let me see. Giannis had 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's not a big game. And it was an inefficient and not impactful 24 points. And usually Giannis is more of a force on the boards, Usually Giannis gets a double-double. Giannis had a game, even though I think they lost that game, we had 23 rebounds. So 6 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to cut it for Giannis. Unless somebody else is eating up the boards on the team, and usually that's not the case. He's missing free throws. They keep comparing him to Shaquille O'Neal, and he really is turning into Shaq, but in the wrong way. He can't make free throws all of a sudden. Giannis did hit a couple of 3-pointers in this game, but for the most part, Giannis really has to work on his deficiencies. He really needs to work on the part of his game that is lacking. Because if he doesn't, then they're going to continue to do this to him every year when he goes further into the playoffs, and playing better teams. And they have better personnel to be able to do the job that they need to do against him. I fully expected Milwaukee to blow Toronto out tonight. Well, last night now. I fully expected Milwaukee. I wasn't really saying blowout, but I was thinking in my mind, like, I expected them to win by 15 to 20 points. And it looked like that earlier in the game. You know what I'm saying? When Milwaukee had an 18-4 lead, I said, okay, Toronto's probably going to come back a little bit, but Milwaukee's going to put their foot on the Raptors. They're going to run, and they're going to be up by 25 points, and they're going to pretty much maintain that 20-point cushion throughout the rest of the game. I thought that was going to happen. I thought Leonard might put up some points, like maybe 25, 23, but I didn't see Van Vliet doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see, what happened, you know. But Antetokounmpo, man, he has his deficiencies, but he's 24 years old, man. I think that has to be remembered, that he's still only 24 years old. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of time left to work on his deficiencies. And he does seem like he wants to be great. But last night, he was trying to do too much on his own. I mean, as a leader, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit there and say that he tried to shy away from taking on the challenge. He did leave the game. I think, what was it, momentarily he left the game. I guess it had something to do with his ankle. Malcolm Brogdon was probably the only player, he and Bledsoe, the only two players that had good games, especially Brogdon. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Eric Bledsoe had 20 points. He took some stupid shots, though, a couple of stupid shots. Chris Middleton, I don't give a fuck about the fact that he had 10 rebounds and 10 assists. Chris Middleton was an all-star this year, right? But where was this all-star during this series? I don't give a damn about that 30-point game he had. You know what I'm saying? Where has he been? Now, look at Toronto, look at Portland, right? CJ McCollum. Look how he played throughout the playoffs. But he's not an all-star. But Chris Middleton is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris Middleton did nothing offensively, man. Nothing. He didn't want any parts of shooting the basketball unless it was a layup. George Hill played well off the bench. 12 points, 8 assists. You know what I'm saying? Ilyasova did nothing. Miritic did nothing. You know what I'm saying? I also wonder why. I also wonder why Budenholzer changed the lineup that was working so well for this team the whole year. You know, the Bucks were known for their size and their length, and I don't know the official numbers, but I'm willing to bet that Toronto won the battle on the boards. Let me see. No, Milwaukee actually won the battle on the boards, but they won the offensive battle on the boards 10-8. And normally, Milwaukee's size give teams problems. But Budenholzer made adjustments and changed the lineup a little bit. I think they were better off when they had Brogdon coming off the bench because that was an extra, more firepower coming off the bench. And I like the fact that the Bucks had that size. Something that pissed me off toward the end of the game, man. I'm not trying to sit there and blame calls because it shouldn't have come to that, but there was a sequence where, oh man, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was, but it might have been Leonard shooting. But anyway, it was a miss. Chris Middleton was right down in the fucking basket, man. The ball was right there coming off the cylinder. And fucking Chris Middleton just looking at the fucking ball, man. It was toward the end of the game, and it looked like I think Lopez or somebody could have corralled the rebound, but somehow Marc Gasol got it, and I think it was Lopez, and Lopez fouled him, and then Gasol shot free throws and shit, man. And it just was bad execution down the stretch of the game for the Milwaukee Bucks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bucks just looked scared. They looked timid. They looked like they were pressing for shots, man. Like like they were in a panic. They weren't playing the same style of basketball they played the whole year. But you gotta give credit to Toronto too, man. Fred VanVleet had the best game of probably his playoff career. You know what I'm saying? What was he? 7 of 9 from 3-point range, 21 points. Nick Powell didn't have a good game, but they didn't need it. Kyle Lowry had another good game, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. I can never talk shit. We can never talk shit about Kyle Lowry ever again. Because Kyle Lowry finally showed up in the playoff series. He finally showed up, man. Marcus Gasol did not have a good game, but he did hit a critical three-pointer. I think it was sometime in the fourth quarter. Pascal Siakam had a good game, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, bullying up fucking Giannis down low. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really, I was watching this game, man. Y'all guys know I root for the Bucks, man. And I really was looking at Giannis like, man, why are you letting these dudes bully you like this? Like, I've never seen Giannis get kind of bullied like that. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. And this came with the Bucks still doubling Giannis. Kawhi. 35 points. I gotta tell you something, man. People gotta, Skip Bayless' head might explode with me saying this, man, but yeah, he might have some injury issues, but look, man, Kawhi Leonard might be the best player in the NBA. I'm starting to think that he is the best player in the NBA. And look, I never ever say shit like this, man, unless I truly mean it. When I look at Giannis, why do I keep saying Giannis? When I look at Kawhi play, right, he kind of reminds me of the 35-year-old version of Michael Jordan. Not quite as good as finishing at the rim at that age. Not quite as explosive, because Michael still was pretty explosive for that age. But his game kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael. He's a better three-point shooter than Michael was at that stage, though, at that year. But his game kind of does remind me of Jordan a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be one of them dudes like, man, what the fuck this nigga talking about? But I'm being honest. When I watch him play, it's some similarities to Mike's game. It really is. I'm not saying he's as good as Michael Jordan, but what I'm saying is there's some subtle similarities. And the guy has blossomed, man. He's blossomed so much as a player. I remember when he was just known as a defensive stopper. And to reach the level that he's at now, man, I think he's been the best player in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Some people say it's Curry. If you look at from the first round on, I think it's no contest. It's been Kawhi Leonard. Because people forgot about the awful games Curry had earlier on in the playoffs. I think it was against the Clippers. He had some awful games. All right, so Leonard, the series isn't over, man, but I don't know, man. Budenholzer's been out coached the last couple of games. The Bucks are not playing like themselves. It looked like Toronto has figured out Giannis. I don't see a way out of it for the Bucks, man. They got 48 hours to figure out how to get out of this mess. I think it's 48 hours. So Bucks got to figure something out for Game 6, man. If they don't, they're gonna be out of here.